I've never been like this, sleeping on the street. My clothes are dirty and old now, full of holes. As I walk with sleeping bag in hand, the weather is bad and I am sad. Will I wake up in the morning or will I not? I will throw at this life all I have got. I try not to beg, but I have to eat. This is life on the street. Me and my wife, after 37 years, just weren't getting on. I didn't want my daughter to go through any mess, so I just thought, time to go. Ended up on the street.
The area that we were in wasn't an area that I felt was appropriate for me and my daughter. And let's just say we weren't in the best predicament at that point. We needed to get out from where we were.
I was working as an IT technician, and unfortunately last year in March we have to close the market, and we lost our jobs because of the pandemic, and I became homeless for many months. I didn't expect that I'm going to have my kids back. It was rough.
I was sleeping in parks because it was quieter. 3 fellas come up and attacked me and just kicked me down like a football. I had to get a brain scan, and that's when I found out I had brain damage. I don't know how I got through it. It was really bad.
At one point I was so close to giving up, and I was like, no one cares, no one's bothered. Went to housing options in Liverpool, turned up with a suitcase and my daughter, and I just said to them, we've got nowhere to go, we've got no family, what can we do? And the minute I told them like why we needed to get out, they were like, right, come on, we've got you now.
Nationally, there's been that drive for everybody in, which is the right thing. I suppose what Liverpool has done is taken it to one stage further, which is everybody in with a pathway into something permanent. So bringing together housing associations that were bringing their vacant or void properties and actually trying to match it to people and what they needed, where they needed it and how they needed it.
The COVID crisis gave us an opportunity to really think quite radically differently. And what we did was pull together a group, creating that sort of forum for people to come together.
We've all been driving towards the same thing over the last 12 months, and that's been really apparent in the successes that we've had. And the reason that it works is because services are working together.
Whitechapel on its own couldn't do anything, Crisis on its own couldn't do anything, City Council on its own couldn't do anything, and equally housing associations on their own. But coming together, we could.
I was hoping that I can get a place so I can see my kids. They offered me a house. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I cried. Like that, I said, yeah, I'm taking it.
When they turn around and give you that phone call and go, guess what? We've got you. It is what you need. I can't tell you how amazing that feels. I really can't. Puts your soul back in you. It does.
When I met Paula from Onward and seen the flat, I thought, yeah, good enough for me. That was it. Moved in a couple of weeks later.
The response was so rapid that we were housing people weeks into them entering into a B&B, which is really groundsbreaking and something that we weren't doing previously.
It wasn't kind of like weeks of discussions and weeks of communication. It was kind of, no, we're behind this. We have to do it now and we've got to get it right.
It took about a week from like just getting a phone call saying from the viewing. It was just over the moon. We were just like, is this really happening? Really? For us?
What was beautiful was it was a home from day one. So they're moving into something that actually they can invest in.
If they haven't got the correct stuff, you know, are they going to actually want to be there? Are they going to think it's their home? You know, and especially when you've got children, you know, you've got to have the essentials to move forwards in your life.
I was struggling for furniture in South Liverpool. We're like, listen, don't stress. We can get what you need.
Provide carpets, wardrobes, furniture.
I thought my own little bachelor pad.
When we started this project, we didn't say you can only have one offer, and if you don't take that one offer, then it's tough. We wanted to make sure we were given choice and real choice. So we were having really, you know, good conversations with the applicants who needed rehousing to say, where do you want?
If it isn't the right property, if it isn't in the right place, or if they're not ready, they can say no, and it doesn't jeopardise what comes next. Home of their choice, furniture of their choice, and the support to make it work.
It can be very scary for them because, you know, it's not just about getting a flat. It's about setting up gas, setting up electric, you know, council tax. And that's where we can come in and go, you know what, we can give you help on this. We can help you sustain this tenancy.
Helping them change their GP to one that's close to their home, trying to combat social isolation by seeing if they could get involved in community groups. And all of those little things just make it easier for that person to perceive that house or that home as a long-term solution.
We're, you know, 100% behind this, and we will make sure that these tenancies succeed.
What we've seen is something which has been unprecedented, and we've managed to rehouse into permanent tenancies over 1,200 people. I don't think there's anywhere else in the country that's achieved anything like that. Living in temporary accommodation for people doesn't allow them to get on with their lives, gives them no security. Equally important to certainly the local authority is the cost, because the cost of putting people in temporary accommodation is phenomenally high. So it's been a phenomenal success.
Every 2 weeks, we look at the figures, and I'm still always really surprised at how many people we've actually housed through the panel.
The allocations panel has been a godsend. It's been that opportunity to have a pathway out.
I'm happy. I'm really happy that my life changed since last year. Because I've got 2 kids to look after. I don't want them to go through what I've been through. I want them to go to college. I want them to go to university. I want them to have a good job and good life.
It's been the best project I've ever worked on. From start to finish, the communication with all the services that were involved has just been absolutely amazing. I can't praise the council enough for it. It's so positive, and the change that you do to people's lives is unbelievable.
Well, I've worked in social housing for 40 years, but I've got to say, the last 12 months, it's been by far the most rewarding thing I've done.
It's like they form a circle around you. It's like you've got a safe zone, because once they know the depth of what your problems are and they know they can help, it's like they put a cloak over you and go, we'll sort it. Stay there, let us do the work. And thanks to them, we have a future, and I have a future with my child.
Without a home, and all I would say to people who are watching this is, if you didn't have the security of a home, how would it impact on your life? And I think for most of us, it would be fundamental.
I just think if you can, you know, you can give people a second chance, you know, to maybe restart a life again. And I think it's, you know, I'm 100% behind it, and I think it's working as well.
Give me a big lift in my life, my own freedom, doing what I want to do, making it my house, and watch the footy on the telly. No.